Hello students, today I am starting with a new chapter of class 7, that is classification of kingdoms. Now, as we all know, we have diverse forms of animals and plants in our earth, and every one plant or every animal is different from each other. So, many years back, we needed to explain the differences between them, and for that we needed the classification. Classification means when we are able to classify the animals or plants based on some observable external appearances. Okay, and Carolus Linnaeus, he was the scientist, the taxonomist who started this classification system. We also call this classification system as taxonomy because it's the branch of biology which deals with all kinds of classification. Okay, and he broadly divided the whole kingdom, the whole organisms into two types. One is kingdom Plantae, another is kingdom Animalia. Plantae consists of all the diverse plants in it, and Animalia consists of all the diverse animals in it. Now we'll see that the Animalia can be divided into broadly two categories. As you can see, I've written here invertebrates and vertebrates, based upon the presence of backbone and absence of backbone. Right. Now, invertebrates means they don't have a backbone, they don't have a vertebral column, and vertebrates means presence of backbone or they have a proper vertebral column. Now, invertebrates can be divided into many phylums: Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda or Nemathelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Echinodermata. This Arthropoda, as you can see, I have subdivided it into Crustacea, Myriapoda, Insecta, Arachnida. And vertebrates can be divided into further classes like Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, and Mammalia. Right. Now we'll go through this one by one. But students, you have to remember that these classifications you need to learn, and you need to learn it sequentially. Like you cannot say Porifera and then you say Nematoda, then you are saying Cnidaria. It's not like that. Properly in an arranged form you have to remember it. Porifera at first, second is Cnidaria, third is Platyhelminthes. In this way you have to learn it. That is also with the case of the subdivisions of Arthropoda and also with the classes of vertebrates. Right. I hope it's clear how you have to learn it. Now we'll go through each of the phylums and their characteristics in short, one by one. Now first we are starting with the Porifera, found in sea. Very few we can find in fresh water. Now from the name you can understand pori means porous. That means the animals which are having porous body. They have many pores all over their body. Okay. I hope you all have seen sponge at your homes or maybe somewhere else. Now sponge is the example of Porifera. Now it may be very surprising to you that how sponge, you have known till now that that is an inanimate object. But dear students, it's not an inanimate object. Sponges are animals and they were living. Now When we have got them at our homes, they are dead definitely, but they are actually animals and they were living. They were found in sea or might be few in fresh water. They are fixed to some object or to the bottom of pond or ocean. Body bear many tiny pores to draw water into the body cavity because they have many tiny pores in them. Okay. Example, sponge. Next phylum is Cnidaria. Cnidaria means those animals which have hollow sac-like bodies. They were aquatic again because they are found in underwater. Sac-like body with only one opening, we call it as mouth. Mouth is surrounded by finger-like projections called tentacles. Why these tentacles are needed? For catching food or prey and for swimming purpose because they are staying underwater. Body is radially symmetrical. Now what is that? That is a new term to you all. Radially symmetrical bodies means if we cut the body into two equal halves along any plane, vertical, horizontal, diagonally, okay, laterally, it will be divided into two identical halves. That is radially symmetrical bodies. Example, jellyfish, hydra and sea anemone. Next is platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, from the name we can understand those animals which have plate-like bodies. That means they have flat bodies. That is flatworms. They are also known as flatworms. Body thin and flattened. They have soft body. They mostly live as parasites inside the body of animals. We call those animals as host body. Inside those host body, they live as parasites. They have again one opening. Okay, they have only one opening in their body. Examples, tapeworm, liver fluke. I hope you all have heard about tapeworm. It's like a ribbon-like structure. Their body structure is like a ribbon-like. And they're also found, inside the body of many animals, sometimes even inside the human beings. Okay. And the last point, they have suckers on their body because they can suck the blood. Okay. Next phylum is Nematoda. Nematoda are the roundworms. That means they have rounded body, round shaped body, and they are unsegmented. That means there are no segments divided inside their body. Most of them are very minute organisms. That means very, very small organisms. They also live as parasites, even in humans. In fact, mostly in humans, right? Example, ascaris. Ascaris are found in many children, especially when they, go for playing in the playground barefooted, and also they eat with, very unhygienically without washing their hands properly coming from the playground. So in this way, they get sometimes affected by these ascaris, these roundworms. Clear? Next phylum is Annelida. Annelida means segmented worms. That means the body is divided into rings or segments. They have soft, moist body wall through which they breathe. They have a moist body wall, mind it. Moist means wet, full of water, so that they can breathe very well. They have special organs for excretion known as nephridia. This is another very important point. They have a special organ for excretory purpose, that is nephridia. Example, earthworm and leech. Okay, earthworm is very known to us, right? So we have done up to Annelida phylum today. Next we will continue from the next phylum, which is a big phylum, that is Arthropoda. Okay, students, please go through this chapter properly, and I hope there should be no problem for this because you have to learn properly from this chapter. Okay, thank you.